in Slovenia, there's 4 branches now. So they just opened Kran branch a little under a year ago. So I was there when they opened it. And that's where all the missionaries are, in one of those 4 branches. So you either serve in Ljubljana, Maribor, Celje, or Kran. And I think now they each have 1 set of elders and 1 set of sisters. There aren't any wards in the mission that I know of. We're working towards it. And the closest temple is Frankfurt. So in August, I believe, and April, or sometime in the spring, they do a temple trip, which is a really big deal because it takes a while to drive. I think it's like 8 or 9 hours. I'm not sure. But they carpool up there, and then they stay up there for a week. And also, the only building we have is in Ljubljana, which is the capital. The church built a building, I think in like 2007, maybe. That building's there. It's like the standard building they build. The one in Croatia is exactly the same, like in Zagreb. And then the other 3 buildings are rented spaces, so that the church rents them from like locally and uses them as a chapel, but they're not actually, they're just rented spaces. So they're smaller branches, depending on where you serve. Ljubljana split. So Ljubljana used to be Ljubljana and Kran. And so it just split. So it got a little bit smaller because half of the people went to Kran. The branch presidents are mostly senior couples, or I think the one in Ljubljana still is, he's working for the embassy. And then, but in Kran they have a branch president who's a local. And then the district president is someone from Ljubljana. He's really great. But yeah, senior couples get called to leadership positions a lot. Just because that's who the Lord calls. So the church has only been in Slovenia for like 20 years. I mean, it hasn't been there very long. So sometimes it's easy to forget, like, why isn't this growing faster? But I mean, if you look at the early church, it's very similar in that, like, you need to be patient. Like, we haven't been there that long, and not very many people like know about us or like are comfortable, you know. And so it's just growing right now. So it's really exciting that way. I think Bosnia opened up maybe like 2 years before I went on my mission in 2013. So it's really young there. I think, yeah, 2 months ago, they just opened a new city. I want to say in Serbia. I don't know the rest of the mission as well. But it is growing. And it's really exciting that way. So a lot of them are Catholic, but not practicing. It really depends on what age range. So the older might be just atheist or like because of the communist or Yugoslavia. But some of them are really religious, like if they've lived through that and they, you know, really hold on to their beliefs. But in Slovenia particularly, it's mostly Catholic. I know the other countries in the mission, maybe they have other religions. But not in Slovenia. And then the younger generation, it's kind of, you know, they don't believe in God. Some of them believe in like an energy kind of thing. So maybe like there's an energy that connects the universe, but it's not personified. There are a lot more people there who are Hare Krishna than I thought. But I had no exposure to Hare Krishna before I got there, so maybe I was just exposed that way. I was just surprised that there were a significant amount of people that were more Eastern oriented that way, which was surprising to me. But yeah, a lot of them just kind of say, well, I already have my own religion. I already believe in Christ. I believe what you're saying. I already believe all of what you're saying is true, because they are Catholic. Yeah, we get some misconceptions. So in the cities, people kind of know who we are because they're smaller cities and we've been around for a while. But a lot of times we get Jehovah's Witness just because they're there too, and they're kind of doing the same types of things we do. I've gotten Amish a couple times, which is interesting. I always pull out my cell phone when I get that. Because I'm like, oh, I'm not Amish. It's okay. There was a documentary going around for a while about us. I don't really know what it was about, but people kept telling us, oh, we like saw you on TV. And we're like, I don't know if this is like a positive thing or a negative thing, but we'll go with it. But yeah, for the most part, like, people have heard of Mormons before. Whether it's positive or negative is a different story, but they know about us just because they have television and the internet, and it's not a third world country by any means, so they have access to those resources. I think just distinguishing us from other Christian religions is difficult, because we do talk a lot about Christ and we are Christian, and so it's easy for them to believe, oh, well, you're pretty much the same as me, so why would I need to change? So, I mean, and then the Book of Mormon and Joseph Smith sometimes it can be difficult for them to understand, which is understandable.